I am here with Katie Casillas today, one of our awesome Hera Hub members. And Katie has many, many talents, but one of which is helping entrepreneurs get their business online through online courses. We're having this discussion today because September 15th is National Online Learning Day, and the rise of online learning, not only in K through 12 and universities has exploded because of COVID. But more so what we're going to hone in on is the importance of entrepreneurs, folks that are running their own business, and specifically knowledge-based entrepreneurs. So think attorneys, folks in finance, marketing, anybody who is selling their expertise, right? And oftentimes trading time for dollars. How can they leverage that expertise in a different way as opposed to one-on-one? So Katie, talk a bit about your business. Why, I know you have a marketing background and you work with clients on marketing, but why the focus on helping entrepreneurs with getting their business online as far as an e-course?
Yeah. So I work with mainly service providers, like you said, knowledge-based, where they're working with clients a lot of times one-on-one, a lot of coaches, a lot of doctors that have moved into the private practice space. And what I was seeing was just a theme that was popping up. Last year, every single one of my clients wanted to create some type of what we call a digital product. So this could be like a knowledge hub, some type of paid ebook, kind of depends on where you're at, but majority of them wanted to create an online course. And so this popped up as a theme. I said, you know what? And the reason they wanted to do this is because they're doing that one-to-one time, right? There's only so much you can scale with one-to-one. So how can you continue to grow your business without multiplying yourself or working more hours? And one of the best ways is taking, common problems that your clients are having that you're solving and package that into a course that they can do either, in conjunction with a group program or completely online themselves. And I've seen them find really amazing success. Some people learn differently that way. They might be intimidated by the one-to-one and really want to dive in and kind of do that self-paced learning. So it opens up all these opportunities and allows the entrepreneur to make more of their working time.
Absolutely. So give us an example or two, Katie, of a client that you've worked with, and what does that process look like too, right? Because it's not, as somebody who has developed online courses, I know there's a lot of work that goes into it.
Yeah. So the very first thing that you want to do is identify the unique either problem that you're solving with the course or the journey that you're taking someone on. Usually it's a transformation, a journey. They're going to purchase this course because they want to go from where they are to a new point. So you want to be really clear in identifying. One of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of online creators making with courses is that they pick something that they think people will want to learn, and turns out people aren't really looking for that specific transformation. So really getting in touch with your clients that you already have and your prospects, doing some market research and figuring out exactly what it is that you can teach with your knowledge and expertise that will help people get the transformation that they are desiring to get, right?
Yeah, great point. So give us a couple examples.
Okay, so one of my clients was a pediatric audiologist. She works with parents and children who are deaf, hard of hearing, or have complete hearing loss. Unique fact about her, she actually has hearing loss herself. So she was uniquely qualified to create this course. But what she found was there was a gap in support for parents that were coming into her office, that they needed a little bit extra support, resources, and how to deal emotionally with discovering that one of their children was deaf, hard of hearing. So she created a program that supported them with their emotional needs, with like the tactical finding resources, and really bridged that gap between what was being offered in the office and what she could offer with like a one-on-one personal client. And then she could get that out to tons of parents and help them. So if that's, one very, very specific idea. Again, I work with a lot of coaches. Maybe they have a specific protocol that they take their clients through, and maybe this is a 3 to 6 month one-on-one where they're meeting once or twice a month, or once a week or twice a month, whatever it is. And this would be spread out over the course of 6 months. They can take all of those things that they're doing with each of their clients, the process, their protocols, package that up and put that into a course that someone could do on their own. Maybe it's showing up on how to show up better on social media, or public speaking, or finding better health in all aspects of your life. So these are just some examples.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk just a bit about the process. Maybe take us through an example, the audiologist, perhaps, as an example of what that looks like for an entrepreneur to actually get the work done, so to speak, right? Because I know there's a lot that goes into it, not only the content, but writing and videos, and how is it laid out? Like you said, people learn differently. And so how do you speak to designing a course that actually makes sure people get the content in the way that, it's going to work for them?
Yeah. So again, the first thing we're doing is identifying that we have a solution to a problem that people will spend money on to solve. The second thing is you're going to create an outline. So we talked about that journey, or that problem we're solving. From here to here, there's all these points in the middle. What are all those steps, and what's required of that person to get to that point? So you can kind of start to break it up. I like just making a basic outline and really filling in all the pieces, figuring out what goes in what order. I'm also a big fan of beta testing. So I'll be running a beta of my own course group program this fall. Essentially, what you can do with a beta is get your outline, get people enrolled in your beta program, start to facilitate the content in the order you think it'll work, teach it live to a group, and then get tons of feedback, right? Get tons of testimonials and feedback. Your job during that beta is to present it in the best way you think possible, and then take their feedback, and then you can rework it. That's the optimum way that I would say. And so at that point, when we're selling our course, we haven't even created anything yet. This is really great for people too who are like camera averse, or they're really worried about putting it out there. You rip the band-aid off, you get it out there, and then before you spend hours creating video content, written PDFs, and all this supplemental material, you know that you've got something that people want. So we would do the beta. While you're doing the beta, you're creating the content, right? So you're teaching live, you're creating the supplemental worksheets, ebooks, whatever it is. In terms of format for like the final project that can be the online course, I would say get tons of feedback from the people that are in your group. Also, the more ways that you can provide for people to learn. So a lot of times people like video, and they like that they can just listen to it as well. So if you make it so that there's maybe some written content, including captions, maybe even the course transcript. I've seen clients who will send it off to rev.com and get the transcript, and they provide that for, the readers of the group. Everybody learns different, so the more ways you can provide, but getting that feedback is valuable for your particular demographic.
I love that idea. That's great.
Yeah.
To your point, it seems so daunting to like sit down and try to, create all this content and figure it out. I love that. That's really great. So you have a how to ECourse coming out.
Yeah.
Sounds like.
Yes. So I will be offering a beta group of the program that I will be creating that will eventually be a standalone, do-it-yourself program. We'll be launching in the end of October, and it will take participants through everything from coming up with their idea, figuring out how to name it, price it, coming up with the outline, pre-selling it. I think the accountability of the group will be really unique. That's kind of a really special piece to this beta. And then once we've got it out there, how to create it. So providing the resources, how do I film the video? What tools do I use? What type of content do I need to create for social media to promote it? What type of content do I need to create for email and my website to promote it? And then once we've run the beta, teaching them how to turn that into an evergreen course. So it's all going to be in there, walking through the steps of exactly what I teach myself.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about it because I think one of the biggest barriers to entry is just not knowing all of the pieces. We've got a really great idea and we're just afraid to get started because we don't know. So helping them along that journey and really get some really great content out there that can help people.
I love that. That's awesome. And you touched on one thing that I've seen here at Hera Hub, seen lots of folks that will go through all the effort to create an online course, and then they don't market it, or they just think, build it and they will come. I mean, so many people. So I love that you're really building that into the whole process, because that's where I see so many folks fall down. They just, it kind of sits there, and then they get, they're paying their whatever, $20 a month on Thinkific or whatever platform they're on. And they're like,
Yeah. And figuring out where that fits into your overall product suite.
Yeah.
So is the course something that leads people into working one-on-one with you? Are they going to upgrade to some VIP sessions? Or is this, you've got a ton of VIP and you're giving them some supplemental content besides what you teach in the one-on-one? Is this, maybe a really intro course? So it's a $37 course that gets people into your world, gets them to learn about you, and then they move on to another place. So thinking about where that fits into the overall, into your overall business and how it benefits both you and your clients.
Yeah. Yeah. We have a longtime Hera Hub member. I'm sure you'll meet her. Her name is Lori Atkin. She calls herself the options lady. So
Okay.
she's in the personal wealth field. She wrote a book called The Options Lady, and she really used her e-course, designed her e-course a few years ago to speak to one of the things you just talked about, which was that gap, kind of like your audiologist. She would have folks, she's a certified divorce financial analyst, and she would have folks that would kind of show up, on her doorstep and needed to do some kind of background work, understanding work before they were able to really engage with her. And
Yeah.
that's what she used her course for. And so it lifted a lot of that, like the audiologist lifted a lot of that, one-on-one question answer type, scenarios. And it's a great way to kind of filter clients, who's really actually ready to work with me.
Yeah, that too. If they're ready to do the work, the pre-work with your course, and then move on to work with you, or are they just looking to kind of pick and choose information? Because the type of person who's going to purchase a course and go through the steps, I mean, we can find all this information out there. How to create a course is out there. How, the pediatric audiologist research, you could find it on YouTube, you could piece it together, but the course taker wants it laid out for them in step by step. And if they're going to go through those steps, then they're committed.
Absolutely. Yeah. And trusting that the source of that information is correct too, right?
Yeah.
You can go on YouTube and find all kinds of things, but
True.
What's the validity of the source in a lot of cases? So that's awesome. Well, wonderful, Katie. How will you be celebrating National Online Learning Day on September 15th?
Celebrating, I guess talking about my beta program.
Cool.
Best way to celebrate, let people know if they're interested in getting into this world. And, one of the things I didn't mention was, as solopreneurs living in this world right now, we're noticing inflation and the prices of things going up. And instead of cutting back on your budget, where can you add some additional income? Of course, there's work that goes into building a course, so it's not completely passive. But once you've done some of the work, and it's evergreen, it becomes a little bit more passive. So you're selling less of your time and you can really, make up for that budget. Again, we talked about, we only have so many hours in the day. And so, yes, it takes time to create the course and get that evergreen course out there. But once it's created, a lot less time to, get it in the hands of other people. You're not recreating it every time and doing the one-to-one. So it's a great way to income stack or add something to your offer suite.
Fantastic, Katie.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you too.